12. The connection among and between all things, such as the eyes of a honeybee and an ant, the sun and the solar system, show that both are designed by a single designer. In the language of this connection, the universe bears witness that there is no deity but God. 13. The indispensable relation among the parts of each thing and the things themselves demonstrates that everything is the work of a single maker. In the language of this relation, the universe testifies that there is no deity but God. 14. The brotherhood between the gravity affecting an individual thing's minutest particles and atoms and the general gravity between stars and suns indicates that both are inscriptions of one pen, the texture of one weaver, the rays from one sun. This shows the necessity of divine existence and unity. In this language, the universe bears witness that there is no deity but God. 15. A compound's minutest particles or atoms, as well as compounds within each other, are placed according to such delicate calculations that, for example, an atom or particle in an eye is interrelated with the eye's other atoms and with all bodily systems and cells. This demonstrates that the creator of the eye, with all its atoms, the body, and the eye of the world, the sun, and their positioner is the creator of all compounds. In the language of all these minutest particles and their positions and tasks, the universe bears witness that there is no deity but God. 16. A species' comprehensive disposition and certain species-wide distribution, such as angels and fish, indicate that the creator of one living being is the creator of the species. The pen, which draws the lines of an individual's face and thus identifies or individualizes that person, has to see all faces at the same time to make each one unique. Otherwise, individualization would be impossible. This requires that the creator of an individual be the creator of the family and species. The universe testifies in this language that there is no deity but God. 17. Some may say that one being could not have created everything and so deny the creator's existence and oneness. Attributing things to nature, themselves, material causes, or to such notions as chance and necessity makes the existence of things impossible. It is much easier for one creator to create everything than for many creators to create one thing. The interference of many blind hands is creating something only increases blindness. For example, if creating a honeybee were not attributed to the power of a necessarily existent being, everything that exists should have participated in its existence. If creating a minute particle or a hair were attributed to material causes, it would be as difficult as creating a mountain. A commander can organize and direct a military company much easier than its soldiers or multiple commanders can. Everyone judges water sprinkled on flowers to be shooting from a sprinkler. All lines ending on a circle's circumference originate from one center. Such results are obtained easily with a few acts by a single being. Suppose that water from a sprinkler was attributed to drops of water or a flower's existence to soil particles, water molecules, rays of sunlight, the flower's constituents, particles, or to chance, and the like. This would require that each particle involved have the attributes of the necessarily existent being, as well as perfect artistry, comprehensive consciousness, all-encompassing knowledge, and absolute will and power. Attributing creativity to these causes means accepting innumerable partners with the necessarily existent being who does not admit partnership. Such order and perfect arrangement require that each particle simultaneously be dominant over others and be dominated by them. In sum, attributing the existence of things to nature, chance, material causes, or to themselves requires the suspension of human reason. On the other hand, suppose that everything is attributed to its true owner, whose existence is absolutely necessary and who is one and single. Then, like drops of water, each of which contains and reflects the sun and shines with its image, each minute particle receives and reflects the rays of the infinite and eternal power's manifestation, which includes the infinite and eternal knowledge and will. A minute particle that receives such a ray is more effective than the sun of material causes. Connection to that power, even though a minute particle produces a very great effect for a transparent particle that receives and reflects that power's manifestation possesses its attributes and thus acquires universality or functions like a universal thing. Furthermore, power is an essential attribute of divine being and thus is infinite and without opposite, division or dilution. Due to essential qualities in existence, namely transparency and reciprocity, balance and measurement, orderliness, abstraction, and obedience, that power creates the sun with the same ease as it creates the minutest or largest thing, for they are the same in relation to a single ray from it. Power's operation also can be likened to light penetrating through a small hole and illuminating a large area. Life, being, and light are transparent and permeable and operate in the inner, immaterial dimension of existence. Thus, one can discern power's operation under solid, material causes. To have an image of the sun in glass, its light only has to shine through a small hole. A cluster of grapes grows at the end of a thin, slender stem. A lit candle or lamp illuminates a room. As in these examples, power operates behind such simple and delicate causes. If power is not discerned in such effects, then they must be attributed to the glass itself, the slender stem, or to lighting a match. Those who deny a single creator or associate partners with him in creation can find peace only by attributing everything to the one necessarily existent being, through whose power all difficulties can be solved, whose will is the key to all problems and mysteries, and through whose remembrance hearts find peace and tranquility. There is no shelter or salvation escaped by taking refuge in and relying on Him. The Almighty declares, "Flee to God," and assuredly in the remembrance of God do hearts find peace and rest. This truth opens a window on the light of Islam, obedience to prophethood, and belief in the necessarily existent being of oneness and unity. In the language of all its parts, the universe testifies that there is no deity but God. 18. Apparent material causes, like bread and milk to satisfy hunger, are simple, limited in time, place, and quantity, and subject to disappearance, death, and change. They have no consciousness and will, and most are subject to nominal, not material laws that are perceived only after the effects have been brought about. Compared to their causes, effects are extraordinary and display splendid artistry. For example, a cell's formation and relations with all others and the body are so complex that it requires much more knowledge, skill, comprehensive will, and power than that found in all members of creation. Therefore, they cannot be explained by the food taken or the working of an unconscious and ignorant body. Look at human memory. How can it be explained? It is like a copy of your life that the hand of power reproduces and gives to your hand, so that on the day of reckoning it may tell what you did during your life and to convince you of the afterlife. The all-knowing one arranges things and events in life perfectly, despite their utmost intricacy. Human reflection, reasoning, thinking, and speech cannot be attributed to or explained by some systems and organs and their movements. Therefore, these faculties, or powers, systems, and organs must be the work of one with infinite power, knowledge, and will. Only a creator with boundless power can be the real agent. Material causes and means are only excuses and ways. Senses, faculties, and qualities are titles given to the pieces of glass, receiving and reflecting according to their capacities, powers, manifestations, including eternal and infinite knowledge and will. Laws are manifestations of knowledge, command, and will on species, something issuing from the realm of divine commands and will. This truth opens another window on the divine being's necessary existence. In the language of all effects, the universe testifies that there is no deity but God. 19. The wonderful works of a universal, perfect art and the utmost care shown in them require a limitless power. Each part of these works also demands this power. This points to an all-powerful creator with unlimited power. Since it is infinite, it is independent of and does not need partners, for that would limit it. Divinity does not accept limitation, for that would cause it to be contained in time and space and defective in the capacities and qualities required by a divine being. Absolute independence and freedom are essential to divinity. Thus, it has no partners, for the universe, through its parts, events, and as a whole, displays the stamp of unity and shows that its ruling agent is one. Humanity is the most capable part of creation, the most eminent of causes equipped with consciousness and free will. However, our role in our actions is very small. This being the case, what part can inanimate objects have in creating and operating the universe? How can the envelope in which the king's gift is placed be his partner or helper? This truth opens another window on the divine being's necessary existence and unity. In the language of this truth, the universe bears witness that there is no deity but God. 20. Although some divine names, like all-knowing, encompass all things, the divine names manifested in the universe cooperate in the creation, life, and working of all its parts down to the minutest particles. Like sunlight's 7 colors, they work to the same effect. Note, for example, such names as the all-seeing, all-hearing, all-shaping, and all-providing, and such attributes as knowledge, will, and power are manifested in an individual. Although each has its own manifestation and produces its own effects, they ultimately produce an integral entity. This demonstrates that the being called by those names is one. In the language of the coordination and solidarity among the names manifested in it, the universe testifies that there is no deity but God. 21. Universal wisdom is apparent in the universe, both as a whole and in its parts. This wisdom, which includes a purpose, consciousness, will, and preference, points to an all-wise one's necessary existence, for an act must have a doer, and an act or a part of it cannot be the doer. 22. The purposeful and gracious, all-encompassing favor apparent throughout the universe testifies to an all-munificent creator's necessary existence, as a favor cannot bestow itself without a favorer. 23. The extensive mercy encompassing the universe, which contains wisdom, favor, benevolence, munificence, kindness, gratifying, love, and recognition, indicates an all-merciful, all-compassionate one's necessary existence. A quality cannot be the one qualified by it, and earth and heavens could have been clothed only by that all-merciful one. 24. Satisfying living creatures' infinitely diverse needs from the universal provision, which contains wisdom, favor, mercy, protection, engagement to provide them, intention, love, recognition, points to a compassionate provider's necessary existence. 25. The life and vigor seen throughout the universe contain wisdom, favor, mercy, provision, delicate artistry, elegant design, firmness, and care. They are brought about by the manifestations of a purpose, consciousness, knowledge, and will. This indicates the necessary existence of an all-powerful, self-subsistent, all-sustaining one who gives and takes life. Life is a simple and unified or uniform phenomenon, contrary to the principle that only a single entity issues from something one and unified. Something one and unified like life issues only from something one and unified or uniform. So, the creator of life is one and indivisible. These 5 truths, articles 21 to 25, indicate that this universe's Lord is all-powerful, all-knowing, all-wise, all-munificent, all-compassionate, all-merciful, all-providing, all-living, self-subsistent, and all-sustaining, one qualified by the attributes of perfection. These 5 truths open a window onto the light of Islam, together with submission to prophethood and the light of belief that he is God, one and necessarily existent. In the language of the light composed of these truths, the universe bears witness that there is no deity but God. 26. The grace observed throughout the universe, making everything graceful, indicates the necessary existence of the one to whom grace is essential. 27. The innocent beauty of the universe signifies the necessary existence of the one with absolute beauty. 28. The true love felt by the universe deeply in the heart is a sign of the truly beloved one. 29. The attraction and ecstasy felt by the universe demonstrate most profoundly the center of attraction toward which everything is attracted. 30. What we hear from all perfected people who describe their observations is that creation is a shadow of the single being of unity's light. These 5 truths, articles 26 to 30, indicate that the universe has a Lord, necessarily extant and qualified by the attributes of majesty, beauty, and perfection. In the language of these 5 truths, the universe testifies that there is no deity but God. 31. Each member of a species, as well as the entire species, is disposed towards specific benefits and purposes. This points to the necessary existence of an all-wise disposer or agent, as an act must have a doer, and an act or a part of it cannot be the doer of itself. 32. Continuous change is observed in plants and animals for certain benefits, which indicates the necessary existence of a master who directs them. 33. Continuous, purposeful transformations are observed in plants and animals, both individually and as a species. This points to the necessary existence of a wise master. 34. The alternation of day and night for many purposes and benefits is a sign of the necessary existence of an agent who does whatever he wills. 35. Ordering must have an orderer for the thing ordered, and the order itself cannot be the doer of this act, which requires consciousness. The universe's order and arrangement serves to make each thing attain its particular level of perfection and to make creation attain its final point of perfection. This testifies to the necessary existence of an all-powerful one, self-subsistent and sustaining. Can a nightingale clothe itself in its elegant, ornamented body? Can earth weave its richly decorated dress? These 5 acts, articles 31 to 35, of disposing, changing, transforming, alternating, and ordering show that this universe has a master. They show that he who controls it is wise, efficient, powerful, self-subsistent, and sustaining, one who does whatever he wills and has attributes of perfection. In the language of these acts, the universe announces that there is no deity but God. 36. The universe has a beginning. Whether as a whole or in parts, it came into existence within time. While there were infinite probabilities as to how and what properties it might have, it assumed its present form of perfect order, harmony, and balance. This demonstrates the necessary existence of one with free choice, one who is all-knowing, all-wise, and all-powerful. 37. Everything is in endless need of sustenance and survival. If it is a conscious living being, it also has spiritual and intellectual needs. Despite everything's inability to satisfy the most insignificant needs, the needs of everything are met on time and from an unexpected source. This points to the existence of a sustaining, providing, munificent, merciful, and compassionate Lord. 38. Everything is in infinite destitution and unable to procure what it needs to survive. However, everything is provided in exact measure with whatever it needs. This indicates the existence of one compassionate, munificent, giving freely, all-loving, and all-aware of even the smallest creature's smallest need. 39. Despite their essential and extreme poverty, things like trees and soil, while appearing utterly dead and dried up in winter, display signs of vigor and power in spring. This indicates the existence of one absolutely powerful, in relation to whose power everything, without exception, is equal. 40. Despite its essential poverty, as displayed by the dried soil, which is the source of provision for living creatures, the universe shows signs of absolute richness. This points to the existence of one absolutely rich. The sun and trees are cells of his treasures of mercy, water and light are two streams originating in his ocean of compassion. 41. Everything is essentially dead. The lights of life disseminated by all living creatures demonstrate the existence of one all-living and self-subsistent, one who gives and takes life. 42. Nothing has consciousness of its own. Together with sight and hearing, the encompassing consciousness displayed by conscious living beings shows the existence of one all-knowing and all-aware. 43. The continuous, orderly change and decay of everything, especially of living things, point to the existence of one making changes, but who is himself permanent and unchanging. 44. We observe that those living, conscious beings who do their duties of worship get the precisely weighed reward of worship, and attaining higher spiritual ranks can have some kind of contact with the inhabitants of invisible realms. The imprints of their worship are discerned in their lives, manners, and even on their faces. This indicates the existence of one who alone deserves worship. 45. The glorification of the universe, whether in words or acts, points to the existence of one whom whatever is in the heavens and on earth glorifies. The testimony of natural disposition or actions is irrefutable. Therefore, how can you refute the testimony of all beings through their dispositions, functions, lives, and physical compositions to the necessary existence of Him who is glorified by everything in the heavens and on earth? 46. The prayers and supplications of living creatures, verbal, physical, or in the language of need and helplessness, are answered and usually yield the desired results. This indicates the existence of one who answers supplications. 47. The afflicted consciously or unconsciously seek refuge in their unknown protector or creator. This testifies to the existence of the refuge of the afflicted and fearful, the helper of those who seek help. 48. Those who penetrate the inner reality of existence and base themselves on their intuitions, spiritual experience, and observation agree that whatever exists in time and space is a shadow of the eternal sun's lights and testifies to its necessary existence. 49. Despite their lifelessness, ignorance, and unconsciousness, Inanimate objects, especially atoms and subatomic particles, serve comprehensive, conscious, and universal purposes. Their comprehensive movements or acts, due to the name's manifestations on them, originate from necessary existence and unity, not contingency. This bears witness to the necessary existence of a Holy One who uses all things and is called by the names manifested on them. 50. Those who deny the existence of a divine being as the sole creator differ in explaining the origin of existence and life. The Qur'an says, "Flee to God. Assuredly in the remembrance of God do hearts find peace and rest, and to God all things are brought back." Those who acknowledge the truth of such divine proclamations find relief from the difficulties, confusion, and problems of attributing existence to itself, nature, or material causes. Attributing existence to the Creator's power easily resolves all difficulties and problems and allows minds and hearts to find peace. Truly, there is no creative agent other than God. 51. Everything is measured in exact proportions. Also, as almost everyone had had a glimpse or clue of the future in dreams, a universal destiny that predetermines everything prevails in the universe. This negates chance. Again, all seeds and fully grown plants or trees point to universal destiny. Due to this all-inclusive destiny, everything is perfectly ordered and serves predetermined, evident purposes according to its form, characteristics, and capacities. Consider the human body with all its lines and fingers. Each one has been built and shaped in accord with its purpose, and so signifies the destiny that has determined those purposes and structure. According to destiny's plan, power puts into writing the meanings established and kept by knowledge. The destiny theoretical that has preplanned all things, and the destiny practical that records the life histories of all things, indicate the necessary existence of Him, the pen of whose destiny and decree has drawn the outlines of all things. 52. Our comprehensive capacities suggest that we are the fruit of the tree of creation, and thus creation's most perfect part. One aspect of our nature inclines us to non-existence, the world's dark face. However, our comprehensive capacity for worship implies that we were created for existence, not eternal non-existence. So, we must turn toward light, permanence, and the Creator, not toward darkness, ephemerality, and the created. Worship connects the beginning to the end in creation. Our natural disposition thus bears witness to the necessary existence of Him who created the universe and its contents to make Himself known, who created humanity and jinn so that they should know and worship Him.